Hey, hi.
We're back.
Well, kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
So sort of an upset here. Tanner winning in 5 games over Travis. Tanner on 4-color initiative
Yep.
against Travis on Death and Taxes. Two of what I would consider to be the best decks right now in the format.
Yeah, I think, certainly the online community considers this initiative deck the best deck in the format.
Yeah, agreed. It's 4 colors, basically every good card in the four non-black colors. And he's going to be playing against Sean Odeen on Goblins.
Yeah, Sean teched out for the tournament.
Yes.
And took advantage of knowing some things ahead of time and is in a pretty good place here. I mean, definitely has game against this initiative deck. So.
Yeah. His deck is generally faster, a little bit more capable of high rolling.
Yeah,
in
really,
terms of what he has in the deck.
Yeah, and he has some ways to disrupt mana that a lot of the other decks in the top 8 don't.
Yeah, the Blood Moon.
The moons, yeah.
Yeah, those are super effective.
The moons, the Price of Progress,
yes,
pretty good here.
Those are going to win out of nowhere if he gets them.
Yeah, so pretty interesting matchup, and he is pretty fast too. So Tanner can kind of fence some things off with some pitch cards and things like that, but the Goblin deck, not a bad spot here.
Yeah, Tanner also does have some pretty nuts starts. We saw him in Game 5 against Travis, deploying a Ragavan turn 1.
Yep.
Attacked, make a treasure, played a white plume. Untapped his Ragavan, got his basic land. Sort of a bonkers start, almost insurmountable.
Yeah, and ran it right into Undermount Adventure.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why Initiative is in the name of the deck, for sure. Some really good cards against Sean specifically, too. He's got the Fury, the Pyrokinesis.
Yep. Yeah, Sean also on these, but they're way more effective against a deck loaded with 1 toughness creatures than a deck loaded with all of the best creatures in the format. All of the best creatures in Magic, the Gathering. So, let's recap really quick. Round 1 was Travis versus Joe on Paradox Academy.
Yeah.
Travis took it there. Travis, our reigning champion of them, probably the most tournament wins.
He is the old cranky man and boss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ironically, not making it to the finals here. Made it to the semifinals, 5 games.
Yeah.
Luke on Seeker Walk in round 1 lost it to Tanner. We had him on coverage.
Yeah, that one was on camera.
Yep.
Luke again got some of those games where he wanted them, just couldn't capitalize, couldn't cash in.
He had the ability, he just didn't draw the cards necessary. And this is like the inherent variance of the format coming out to bite you.
Yeah, and if you give that omniscient deck enough time, they will top deck their powerful cards.
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
You basically are sidestepping a lot of the variance by just making all of the cards good.
Right.
And you kind of just say, I will lose to Blood Moon, I will lose to Price of Progress. I will take those losses to take my wins in every other game.
Yeah.
And look where it's gotten him.
Yeah, and he's on the more control version of Omniscitive.
Yes, he has a lot of counter magic.
Yep, a little bit lighter on the creatures, so might be a nod to these moon effects and the Price of Progress, the ability to counter those.
Absolutely. Force of Negation on the Blood Moon, I think, feels just fine.
Yeah.
Mitch was playing against Goblins in round 1. Both decks are aggro decks, effectively. They're both synergy aggro decks.
Yep.
Sean teched hard.
He did. Yeah, he came with the meltdowns.
Yep.
That goblin we saw last round
Crater
that
Maker.
I've already forgotten the name of.
Yeah.
That gets +1/+0 for artifacts.
The Sardian Avenger.
Yeah. Got the Trash Master. He has the hate cards to beat Mitch. He knew he needed to get through that round, and he teched for it, and it worked out for him.
Yeah. What's interesting is Mitch also teched for this tournament in a way. He brought in Kraxos, Scourge of Krug, because he wanted to grind a little bit more.
Sure.
He saw himself as the aggro deck. He knew that he wanted to be able to grind. It's sort of like the artifact deck's version of Hogak.
Sure.
Where deeply undercosted trample threat that is going to win games on its own.
Yeah, and it's a 7/7 that he can play on turn 1.
Yeah,
Off
exactly.
a workshop or whatever.
Yep.
So,
it just didn't get there. Sean's a little bit faster. Mana's a little bit more consistent, being on 1 color rather than, let's say 2, but it's really 1. It's a colorless deck.
and he did draw the meltdown 2 out of 3.
That is bonkers, dude.
Yeah, it's.
But that's what Sean's here to do.
And that's why the card's in the deck.
Yes.
That was what it was there for,
Yep.
and it paid off.
round one with Ryan against Jake was a rematch of two players from one of our one of our year ends, or not year ends, but one of our qualifiers.
Yeah.
Where Jake got the invite. Jake was on Naikiki Pod then. Ryan did a change up to Omni Show to try to sidestep a combo deck with a fast or a more powerful combo deck. Jake just ended up getting there in 5 games.
Yeah. Win a full 5 games, and the linear aggro side of Jake's deck it's pretty consistent.
Yeah.
And the Omni Show deck, has some misses. So
it can draw the wrong side of its deck sometimes.
Right. Yeah, you can just end up with a bunch of giant cards. Although we did hear that with a Palantir in play, Ryan did reveal an Emrakul, the Promised End.
That's a 13-13 for 13.
Yeah.
That'll 13 your opponent pretty good.
Yeah. Jake allowed him to mill it, took 13 damage. I think still won that game, though.
That's wild. He went to 5 and then still won.
So.
And then we saw Sean against Jake in this last round. Sean just ground out a couple wins and then got to high roll him that last game. Got the Blood Moon, had the Fury, had basically everything he needed to win quickly and close out the match. Kind of doing what Goblins does.
Yeah, Jake played a couple of games there where he essentially wasn't really getting to the board until turn 3. Essentially starting the game at 10th life is what it felt like,
We'll call it a hiccup. We'll call it a stumble. Call it what you want. Just didn't play as fast.
Yeah.
I just can't get over that we're finally here. This is the finals.
Yeah.
Year end. It's December now of 2023. We started this back in March?
Yep.
Running our quarterly qualifying tournaments. We didn't even have the quarterly set up then. We didn't know what we were doing. Did a little peek behind the curtain.
Yeah. We know a little bit more about what we're doing now, but I don't know that we've got it completely solved.
We fake it for TV.
Yeah.
But this is it. These are 2 great indicators of where the format is just at this point in time.
Yeah.
Omniscitive being this 4-color good stuff, a lot of game state, like spells, creatures, everything good in the deck.
Yeah, taking advantage of some of the commander product cards and just putting a lot of things together, in a big pile of power, just pure power.
Exactly. Yeah. All powered by Triumphs, powered by Moxen.
Yeah.
Got a True Name Nemesis in there to make sure that you get and keep the initiative, get and keep the Monarch.
Yeah. Yeah, and then on the other side, Goblins, which is pure synergy deck,
Yes.
Has the power behind it too, but really it's a snowball deck, and once it starts rolling downhill, it gets big fast.
Yeah, getting hit by anything rolling downhill that fast.
Yeah.
Kind of hurts.
Yeah.
And sort of like built not as much off of the power of each individual card. Like there are some really good individual cards in the deck, but on their own can kind of be seen as a little mopey.
Yeah, absolutely. Mog Fanatic in 2023,
Right. It's a deck where the whole of the deck is greater than the sum of its pieces, and I love that.
Yep.
And Tanner's deck is one where all of the pieces are just the best pieces.
Yeah, and then it's also even a little bit of the philosophy side of things. Sean is a guy that plays goblins at every tournament. He's a goblin guy, and Tanner has been a little bit more flexible with his deck choices, often bringing what he thinks is best to a given tournament. So nice to see them both in the finals.
Yeah,
you can approach the format in a couple different ways.
Yeah, Tanner being a little bit more mutable and picking a deck that he thinks is really well positioned.
Yeah.
He also got to play some, like you said, more disruptive elements from the stack, more counter magic. Oh, we're actually getting started here. Holy cow.
Yeah, here we are.
Okay. Before we get started, everybody follow the channel. Go ahead and give us a follow, like the YouTube page if you're watching on the YouTube. Hey guys, how you doing? Glad you're here. I am pumped. This is it. We're starting. I believe Tanner gets to choose play draw here. He is the higher seed.
Yes.
But
relatively important in the Goblin matchup.
Yes. You wanted to choose. And this is just a message for any Magic player out there. If you get the choice to be on the play or the draw, and you're not on Manaless Dredge, go ahead and be on the play.
Yeah. If you're on Manaless Dredge, you're losing anyway. So
hey now. It's true, but it hurts my feelings a bit.
Well, you've got mana in your dredge deck.
That's true. I'm not on manaless. I'm more of a try to find Bazaar of Baghdad deck rather than a go to draw for turn, pitch to hand size, go.
Yeah. So, two guys that are sort of staples of our meta here,
Yep. And Sean doing the sticker deck.
Yeah, here comes the sticker. He's the only sticker deck in the top 8.
Sean letting his opponent choose the stickers. That's how it works.
And from the dad side of things, also the oldest competitor in the top 8.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're dads. We're all dads here.
Yeah.
In spirit.
Hey, Dad.
Tanner not a dad.
Yeah.
So talking about
maybe he's a dad in training. You never know.
A mini dad.
Well,
a son, what some would say.
Yeah.
So Tanner, on sort of the current omnipresent point spread, which is triple Mox +1.
Yeah.
I think I've been pretty vocal about saying that I think Moxon should probably go to 4. With the power of the cards increasing, not exponentially, but like pretty steadily over the last couple of years, especially since Modern Horizons 2, the ability to accelerate from turn 1 for very little cost, and the ability to high roll your opponent and have a much higher density of high roll cards in your deck really make it a no-brainer for a lot of these decks to just oops into Moxon.
Yeah, certainly the Moxon, not to get into a big discussion about it, but certainly the Moxon feel like they are most prevalent in the non-games of Canlander, know. But you can see Mox Ruby in both decks, pretty indicative of the entire year tournament-wise.
Yes.
Mox Ruby,
the most popular Mox.
Yeah, the most popular pointed card, period.
Correct.
In the entire year, so.
Yeah. Most popular unpointed card. What do you think it is? Yeah, we're already.
Most popular unpointed card is definitely White Plume Adventure.
You're correct. Yeah. 100 times over.
Yeah, and I would bet that in the top 3 or 4 is also Seasoned Dungeoneer.
Yeah, it's in there. So Seasoned Dungeoneer, White Plume Adventure, Undermountain Adventure, Caves of Chaos Adventure. A lot of adventurers. Seasoned Dungeoneer, not an adventure, but in our hearts. So Sean probably going to pitch this back. We got a Cave, Den of the Bugbear, and no other lands.
And a Lackey, though. He may go in on the Lackey. You never know.
Tanner's just got a lot of cards, or a lot of cards to deal with things. It depends on how greedy Sean is feeling. He may hope. No, we're just pushing it back, and I think that's a responsible play. Don't box your deck, Sean.
Yeah, I think maybe if he's on the play here, he keeps that. Because
Yeah. You're sort of forcing your opponent to have a force of will,
or a Lightning Bolt, or there's a lot of answers to that Lackey, right?
Sure.
In the Omniscient deck, but there's also some coming to play tapped lands, and I think if he's on the play there, maybe he keeps that hand, but here, no.
Definitely going a little slower. And Sean has shown that he is ready to take a more conservative line where necessary.
Yeah, he's been very patient.
Yeah. He didn't, pitch cast Fury and then what is that I see? A one-land Blood
One land Blood Moon, but there's a Skirk Prospector in there.
I think we keep this hand, right?
And a Gamble.
Nope, we're going to 5.
That one's hard, keeping the 5 card, going to 5 against this Omniscient deck when they've got the Fury and the Pyrokinesis and it's a rough spot to be in. But he maybe feels like he's losing with that hand either way.
Yeah.
Maybe he can still get this Lotus Blood Moon thing going, or
there's also a possibility of just like trying to get that Price of Progress.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just catch him off guard and blast him.
Yeah. So we got one land here. Again, sort of like, I don't know how many lands Sean is on, but certainly... No, that's more than one land. We've got... Is that an Ancient Tomb in there? I think that might be an Ancient Tomb. Okay, we've got to keep it.
Castle Embereth maybe too. I don't know. Yeah.
Definitely a good sort of cards. And Sean does not have a ton of lands in deck. I don't think he's going to flood out here. I mean, he could. Who knows? So what is that, a plateau?
He immediately drew another mountain. Yeah, that is a proxy.
Oh, it's a
plateau
Mox.
There's a Mox.
Runefelt champion.
Yeah.
This is a Dominaria United. And we're just going to path that.
Is that
Swords.
Goblin Bandit Lord, maybe? Is that the Runeveld or the Goblin
That's
Bandit?
Runefelt champion.
Okay.
This is from Dominaria United. I can look this up.
There's so many of these extra lords, anymore. He does.
Velt.
Sean does look like maybe he has a lot of mana in hand now.
Yeah. Runevelt Horde Master.
Horde Master, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's a lord for 2 mana that is also itself like that. Also, when another goblin dies, exile the top card of your library. If it's a goblin creature, you can cast it until the next turn.
Gotcha.
So, is that a goblin? What is it?
I don't know. These goblins, I don't know. I think this is maybe that artifact one.
Trash Master?
No, the Avenger or whatever.
Okay. So we're gonna bubble the top 2 cards with this.
Yeah, we're seeking the beast here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I often seek the beast.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you find it?
It's just in the mirror, bud.
Oh man, I'd believe that.
You see, I'm very funny. Got a couple lands. Yeah. Don't mind bubbling those.
Yeah, don't mind clearing those off the top.
Yeah. Tanner, not under a lot of pressure here.
No.
One goblin in play on his opponent's side. Sean getting the mock start was really good, but now is sort of trying to figure things out as far as hoping his deck feeds him some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about goblins, you're only a Muxus away,
It's true. You're only a Snoop away.
Yeah, or Snoop, or recruiter,
Yeah.
or even a ringleader.
Yeah.
A deceptive amount of find a bunch of cards and put them in your hand.
Yeah, we sort of talked about it a little bit with Luke's deck, where we said he would get in a tight spot, but if he draws a Spellseeker, that's game over.
Yeah.
Tanner also sort of in an interesting position because, like, we don't know all the goblins. I guarantee you he doesn't know all the goblins. There's one person in this entire building who knows all of the goblins, and that is Sean Odeen.
Yeah, and one thing about this Omniscitive deck is it can occasionally get in these awkward spots where he's not under a lot of pressure, but a lot of his cards are so reactive, he also really can't do anything but sit there and watch Sean play or wait for Sean to do something,
Yeah, and one for oneing yourself with a goblin, kind of.
Yeah. So it can be a little bit awkward on the, when you're playing this control version. Sometimes you don't have the proactive cards that you'd like to have.
But. I mean, this, like you said, this is definitely a control deck, right?
Yeah.
Which is sort of interesting. We've seen the Omniscitive deck take on a control basis. We've seen it take on like a creature-based, initiative-focused. And it's called Omniscitive because of Omnath, not because of omniscience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although that'd be pretty sweet, though.
Worth clarifying for sure, especially when we had a show and tell deck in the.
It is true.
Format. So is this it's Nissa? So this is the Nissa that allows you to search for an elemental.
Yeah, when a land hits the battlefield.
Yeah. When you trigger landfall for the second time.
For the second time.
Yeah. So the first time is a Lotus Cobra. Second time.
Sean drawn
Lotus
another
Cobra
land here. That's
reveal.
a little rough. Is that a wasteland?
That is a wasteland. Yep.
Okay.
Wasteland, and we've got a mountain and an unknown in his hand.
Yeah.
At the moment.
I don't. It's probably
We're about to find out what this one known is.
Is that it's a goblin.
It is a goblin. Yeah.
We're doing our best here in the booth. I promise you.
Yeah.
This is the one deck that we kind of struggle with.
The thing is, a lot of the normal art you can recognize here.
Yes.
But, yeah. So swinging with this guy, kind of
daring.
Yeah, daring Tanner to block, calling the bluff maybe a little bit here.
Are we going to wasteland one of his lands? Is the question. I don't know that you do.
That looks to me like a Goblin Rager.
Oh, it's a Raging Goblin?
Or a Raging Goblin, but I don't know if that's true or not. Yeah.
Okay, so we're wastelanding.
Taking him off the blue.
Yeah. It feels a little awkward because you're going to be able to produce mana. Does he have the ability to play this, the Sacred Foundry, or is it just gone forever?
The Sacred Foundry is gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the Seek of the Beast rules are, and I don't remember exactly when he laid it out.
Yeah, he has until his next end step, and he played the fetch land instead of the...
Got it. So he needs another land to get Nissa's first trigger, the Lotus Cover trigger.
Yeah, and I would assume he has one if he prioritized playing the Nissa over the Questing Druid there.
Yeah. Sean's sort of signaling that he doesn't have a lot to do with his mana by wastelanding his opponent, taking him off blue.
Yeah.
I mean, at most, Tanner's looking at this going, oh,
Yeah, so there's the land.
Yeah, this is the fetch. It's the fetch for a basic, right?
The Prismatic Vista.
Prismatic Vista, yeah. I keep on thinking Prismatic Ending, but that is a different card entirely.
Yeah, and another one that's in Tanner's deck.
Yeah, and now he can just snap off this Druid if he wants. We have a land. We have a mana off of Nissa. And is that a... What is that? Oh, he's brainstorming. It's a brainstorm.
Yeah. Can't both, all these random art cards, are hard to figure out.
Yeah.
He may be putting an elemental back on top of his library here, but I guess he would have to shuffle first, so that doesn't really make sense. But
yeah, so he's got 2 triggers. The first is to make mana. He used that mana to cast Brainstorm. If he fetches, he now gets to Cascade into, and it goes into hand. It's basically Discover.
Hand. Yeah.
He gets to discover an elf or a elemental.
Yeah, whichever's first.
Yeah, they're both of those options. I think it's just elementals in his deck. And I know that was whispered there. I think it's just elementals in his deck.
It's pretty likely.
Yeah. So he's back on blue.
Because it feels kind of bad if you go down that hole and you just find Llanowar Elf or whatever, He's probably hoping for a Fury.
Yeah, that's the
Fury
one.
Probably puts this game in the bag.
It's already not looking great for Sean.
Yeah.
Flooded out a bit there, had to mulligan a decent amount. He wasn't on the play, so he's already kind of on the back foot a bit. He's not where he wants to be. Which isn't to say he's in a bad position. He has 2 creatures on board, so we're just gonna flip into an elf or an elemental.
Yeah.
So probably it'll either be. I don't think he has subtlety in the deck.
No, it's likely.
Endurance,
so there's Solitude, Endurance,
or
Fury.
Those are the big ones. Or
Omnath.
Omnath would be a huge get. Look at all these bangers coming out of here.
Yeah.
Ragavan.
And here you see, there are just no bad cards in this deck.
Malcolm, Get Probe, Land, Fiery. What was that? Goyf.
Yeah.
Mox.
Brazen Borrower, Evasive Action.
Does he have any elementals in his deck? You have to tell me if you don't have elementals in your deck.
There it is. There's the Fury. Yeah.
So it's going to go into hand. He doesn't get to put it into play mercifully. He's not going to just
that Nissa would be good.
Yeah. Nissa would be a little too much.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of conversation about this set. That is to say, the Aftermath set. It was a smaller set, not designed for draft.
Right.
And this was one of the best cards in it. I would say, I don't think it's an unpopular opinion to say the best card.
The Nissa?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard. It's tough because there's a lot of cards in there that have a very high power level, and you just...
Correct.
I think Mitch in his deck had the Karn from that set.
Yes.
The Obnixilis from that set is very powerful.
Yep.
Part of some infinite combos.
Yeah. What's her name? Chandra's mom, Pia, in that deck created a Pioneer deck.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cool... he's just pitch casting Fury.
Yeah, pitching the 4th Aerolingus too. So you can see...
Sean's sort of out of it at this point. Those should not get exiled. This should be in graveyard. There you go.
Yeah, and this is sort of Tanner saying, I know critical mass is bad for me.
Yeah.
Just going to do what I have to do. I'm pitching one of my more powerful cards.
Yeah. It's a 2 for 2.
Yep. Certainly on the power level spectrum, Tanner coming off on the bad side of that deal. Yeah. But
I don't know if he sequenced correctly there.
Now.
He probably should have cast the Druid first, then pitch cast Fury, put a counter on the Druid.
Yeah.
But he might have been holding up a counter spell or some sort of interaction. It is what it is.
All right, there's the Lackey.
Yep. May not be long for this world. We've only got a land in hand now. Is he just holding the land?
I think so.
Yeah. Kind of bluffing to his opponent that he has something. Lackey does require you to have a goblin in hand for it to do anything, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean just kind of head in hand here, not really sure what he can do. He does have some easy wins. Like if he gets the Snoop, oh my gosh. And it's an exile, gain a life.
Yep. Questing Druid gets a counter.
Did he hard cast that?
I believe so. He had the landfall trigger to get the 5th mana.
This may be over pretty quick. Tanner is now sort of taken over the game. Sean needs something really bonkers here. Not sure if that's good enough. I think he may have drawn a Muxus there.
I believe that's what it was.
Yeah, he's only got 4 lands. If he draws a Black Lotus next turn, maybe that's good enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's assuming that Tanner has no interaction in hand.
Yeah.
Perhaps it is, but...
Tanner famous for having action in hand.
Yeah, and sort of prioritize getting that blue mana into play, indicating maybe he's got a little bit of something. Although we did see a lot of cards off of the landfall trigger on this, so we know he doesn't have the evasive action.
He's at 6.
He didn't at some point.
So Sean is dead on board now. If he draws anything... if he draws any amount of action, that's good.
Yeah.
If he draws a Fury, he's sort of priced into heart, pitch casting it.
Yeah, and Tanner here getting another Nissa trigger, double trigger.
Oh yeah.
Find another elemental here. I don't know what. Well, he's still got Omnath in the deck, so bad news for Sean there.
Yeah, Omnath and
Endurance. Yeah, that is a Muxus for sure in his hand. Maybe he can draw the Sticker Goblin or whatever.
Sure. Yeah, this is Muxus the highest mana value card in his deck by far.
Yeah.
It's also the highest mana value Goblin.
Yeah, the highest mana value card that he can't pitch cast. He probably may have Pyrokinesis in his deck. I don't know.
Does he have Pyrokinesis?
I don't know. I don't have a list.
Fury is actually just great because you don't have to pitch cast it. It's sort of one of the best things about it.
Yeah.
It's a good body on its own.
So here we go. I believe Omnath is the only one left, but
Endurance.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Could be. Yeah, there's Endurance.
There's Endurance.
Okay.
Yep.
My most hated card, which he can now cast at instant speed.
Yeah.
All
roads lead to Rome here, right?
Yeah.
So
we are on the way to Rome, as one has said. So yeah, we're casting it with the mana that Nissa produced.
Can you just imagine goblins fighting elves in the Colosseum?
Yes, I could actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually a thing that you've just described a fantasy novel.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So he's going to put his graveyard on the bottom of his deck. This is just the thing that Endurance does. It's not as impactful for Sean. I hate it, personally.
You know, I like to use my graveyard, too. Not to the extent that you do, but...
Having it be instant speed. Yeah, that's probably game. Let's go to game 2. Sean's going to be on the play here. Yeah, it's the Muxus.
Yeah, Sean made the plays he needed to play. He got that Lackey to play, tried to give himself the opportunity to top deck the Muxus, which he did. But there was just solitude to get rid of that Lackey.
He ordered his cards correctly.
Yeah.
We got another hand we can't keep here for
no
Sean.
lands there.
Blood Moon, no lands. I wonder if that second hand was a keepable one for Sean.
Last game?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's just... I don't think it was wrong to mulligan. Do I think he would have had a better chance at winning than his 5-card hand? Yes, I do. But he certainly kept a hand that had some play and hoped to draw out of it and didn't.
The issue is that if you mulligan into a card, a hand with a lot of lands, or like he did in that 5-card hand, he had 3 lands in it, right? Your deck is mostly lands. Your plurality of cards in your deck are lands, and that is more than likely what you're going to draw off the top of your deck. The old adage of screw beats flood is undoubtedly true.
Yep.
And Sean sort of showed that in the last game. This is a much more keepable hand. Yeah. This is looking good for our goblin friend. Tanner's still mulling it over. I think Tanner's also on 6 here.
Yeah, I see a Flame of Anur.
And an island. That's an un-island. A lot of really cool land choices for Tanner here. Or is he on 7?
I think he kept 7.
Okay.
Yeah. 7's on. Opener. No 1-drop for Sean.
That's
so not what he wants to see.
Not great. But
that is kind of what he wants
Triome?
to see.
Yeah. And another mountain. Okay. Yeah. Not great. But, ooh, Crater Maker.
Yeah.
Sort of Sean's answer to a lot of the problematic artifacts.
Yeah. Again, some of these cards, a nod to playing Mitch for round 1.
Yeah.
And still not terrible in a lot of the other situations. Meltdown is a little bit sus in a lot of these other matchups. But,
yes. It
paid for itself already.
A lot of the bonkers starts that Travis has require the artifacts, and this feels much more tacked against Travis than Tanner.
Yep.
Which makes sense if you consider that Travis has been the overall points leader and wins leader in our league. Sean was sort of expecting to see him in the finals. But Tanner got the
very nearly did.
Yeah.
He very nearly did. But
Tanner won it in 5 games in the semis.
That game 5 was brutal.
Yeah, he got there.
Yeah.
Tanner is on the control version of Omniscitive, very blue focused. In a lot of these Omniscitive decks, our Moxen are Emerald, Ruby, Pearl. This is Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire.
Yeah.
The white is much less represented in this deck, and we got a Dash Ragavan.
Yeah, sort of I dare you to block, you know?
Yeah, it depends on what Sean has. Do we just let him do it?
It's always interesting. This Ragavan is always interesting against goblins to me because they have so many 1-drops that can be cast off that treasure.
Yes.
You know?
Sean,
that being said, they're not always particularly impactful on your opponent's side.
I don't hate that trade.
I don't either.
Yeah. Sean doesn't mind trading off the... Oh, that's nice. And again, Sean's got a lot of lands in play, but he's drawn pretty hot here. So here's the Horde Master. Is this... It's one of the 3-mana lords, I think.
Yeah, it's like the Bandit Lord or whatever.
Yeah. From the D&D set. All right, here we go. Sean has another land in hand, but then a couple of non-lands. Hoping to sort of high roll into some non-lands here. Draw hot. Wait, is that a Blood Moon?
I don't think so. Well,
it's
it might
white
be.
bordered. I think that's
bordered.
the Blood Moon. Let's take a look. Come on, Sean, show us. I'm using my psychic link with Sean through the wall here. He's just on the other side of the wall and from the booth. Really hoping he reveals to me that Blood Moon, because that's going to be a big game. If Tanner doesn't develop a mana source to the board, this is going to be an easy play for Sean next turn.
Yeah. He did go with another non-basic. I don't know how many basics are actually in this deck.
I'm guessing 4. I would guess 1 of each color.
Yeah. Who knows?
Maybe 2.
Yeah, I'm sure there's not a mountain.
No.
Know.
It's probably something along the lines of 6.
Man, that seems high.
2 of each. Yeah, but we're sort of trimming back on... We've got just duels and triomes and maybe shocks, and that is the only thing we've seen. We haven't... And Horizon lands. But we haven't seen any fast lands. We haven't seen any check lands. The deck is designed to meet the colors, hit the colors, and then everything else is basics because you're fetching off of your initiative.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to think what basics we've seen. We've seen an island.
We saw forest.
Okay, here's a Tarmogoyf.
Pretty 2/3. Land creature.
2/3.
2/3. Oh, it's a 3/4. Is that a no? It should just be a 2/3 creature land. Am I missing something?
I don't believe you are. Maybe that's indicating its toughness.
Oh, sure.
I don't know.
So are we going to play this Blood Moon? I would if I were you.
Oh, we drew the Lotus too.
Is this a Muxus? Is that a Muxus?
No, there's no Muxus in the hand.
Look at Tanner like, yeah, that's a Black Lotus.
Whatever that goblin is, it's triple red.
It's not Kranko. You know what I think is really funny? The Goblins deck, not super expensive. The Black Lotus takes this from a couple $100 in cards to $10,000 and a couple $100 in cards. Are we offering the trade here? Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Oh, it's an Embercleave. That's what it was. It was
That
an Embercleave.
is
Yeah.
not bad.
Yeah.
So the Lotus should be in graveyard. You don't have to discard a land. You just have to tap them there, Sean.
Yeah.
So it's going to give it trample and +1/+1. It has flash. You don't have to pay for the equip cost. It just comes in and equips.
And it's double strike.
And it's double strike. And trample. Trample and double strike. +1/+1, trample, double strike. That's pretty good, not bad.
Yeah.
The Black Lotus is going to make it bigger. Yeah, sacking the Black Lotus makes it bigger. I don't know that Sean was planning on that.
Redoing the math here a little bit,
Yeah,
realizing it's a 3-power creature. Yeah.
So yeah, it's a 3/4. Because it's just land creature artifact. Yeah, the play has been made here. The die is cast.
Yeah, Tanner trying to figure out what he wants to do, if anything. I suppose he could be mulling over a Solitude. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's playing any Vapor Snag or anything like that.
No, he's letting it go, I think. Interestingly, this is one of two equipment that Sean played in the deck up until recently. He had Jite in the deck when he wasn't on Lotus.
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like it sticks. That is a powerful play. Turning a Black Lotus into a Embercleave it's still connected there, bud. Yeah, it stays on.
In the vein of the previous conversation, same mana cost as Muxus, 6 mana.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's 4 red, huh?
Yeah.
But it reduced its cost because it had one attacking creature.
One attacking creature.
Yeah. Then when it comes into play at instant speed, if you can attach it to an attacking creature you control.
Yeah. And that was not a Blood Moon, that was a Lightning Bolt.
Okay. I just keep on thinking all of the white bordered. Okay, so this is going to be good. Sean's probably going to feed this Nissa a Lightning Bolt.
He may. It's already made 1 mana.
Yeah,
he certainly does not want it to go find.
He can respond to the mana generation.
So, but this is a Karakas, which can defend the Nissa.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah.
However, if he uses the Karakas to replay Nissa, kinda sucks. So he's just thinking
It's better than a dead Nissa.
You are terminally correct. Nissa's a 3/3. Yes, 3/3 for 3, or is it 2/3?
That's a 3/3 for 3.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Lightning Bolt.
Oh, he's just letting it go.
Yeah. You know what I always think those white border red cards are ATOGs.
Yes, I see that. Okay.
Yeah. And because it's got the purple in the middle on the ATOG, and it's so I don't know. All right, here's Malcolm. Yeah, another card that can be defended. With Karakas.
Definitely a better card, I think, than Nissa at this point in the game.
Yeah,
you're gonna get to pitch loot to a better hand, and eventually, we said Omniscience isn't in the deck. I kind of lied.
That's true. Yeah. I would be surprised if this thing gets 4 cores counters in this matchup, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah. I have seen more odd things. He's going to read it again.
This Malcolm, horrible at blocking this Embercleaved creature.
I don't think he's going to.
Yeah. He's pricing himself into taking some damage here by playing it.
This is going to...
Is that a Tarfire from Sean? I don't...
Yes.
Was that a Tarfire that he drew?
Maybe. It's hard to say.
Yeah. It's always on... the camera setup can be a little bit strange.
We're just daring him to block. He's going to go to 8. This is going to hit him for 8.
Yeah.
8?
Because it's a 4/4... It's a 3/3 with +1/+1 double strike. And now we're going to Tarfire.
Yeah, it was a Tarfire, yeah.
Do we care? No, we're letting it go. Yeah, you had to tap that Karakas, man. Does Tanner have what it takes to not die?
Yeah, I believe, so the companion part of this is wrong.
Yeah.
There
We're correcting. Oh, he's at 10. It was only 6, so it's a 2/2 with +1/+1 and double strike.
It's one of those other goblins.
Yeah.
Fetchland played before without the Nissa, so probably have a 5-mana elemental in hand already.
Probably a subtlety or a solitude.
Yeah.
Not a subtlety. Subtlety not
Subtlety
doing
might be a
much.
little awkward here.
Yeah. He should be at 9 now. Tanner at 9. He is dead to a price of progress.
He is. I believe he probably came into this match knowing that was always the case.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think he's playing around it. But it is notable that Sean can just win out of nowhere now. That Tanner is committed enough to his mana base that it's not a problem for him to just win out of nowhere. One of the best plays I've ever seen against a Price of Progress was when you wastelanded yourself.
Yeah.
When I had lethal Price of Progress, so that we tied. Because you're a hateful man.
People call me a cockroach. They're not wrong.
Yeah, no. You always have the way. You know the out.
So probably Solitude is what we're representing here. But,
I agree, yeah.
could be something. If you had like a Brazen Borrower, I could
Yeah.
see maybe a Petty Theft, and then there's a Solitude.
Solitude,
Yep.
yeah. So it's gonna exile it. Honestly, though, like he's gonna gain 3 off of this. The equipment's gonna stay in play. The equipment's gonna stay in play. Sean, the equipment will stay in play there, bud.
Yep.
That Embercleave is still in play. And he just drew a Wasteland.
Yep. You may want to make a quick correction on the Ambercleave there.
Just gonna remind him that Embercleave is not part of that card. Embercleave's still in play. Just reminding him there.
Yeah. So equipment first came out in Mirrodin. Sean was probably playing before that.
Yeah. I started playing in 97.
I started in the original Mirrodin.
Yeah,
So
2003. 2004?
No, 2003, early 2003 probably.
Sure.
Yeah.
So 20 years on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just over 25 for me.
So Solitude is going to do some work here. Undo a lot of the damage dealt by the Bandit Lord. Sean just on the wrong end of variance these first 2 games.
Did you wasteland him?
He did.
That's
Wasteland
wild.
Yeah, he went for the Wasteland on the Caracas, because there's
That's
the Flame of
Anor.
Yeah, this is my favorite Flame of the Anor art.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really like this art.
So he's just gonna shatter the. Yeah, I think that's correct. He doesn't need any additional cards in hand. He's just gonna win with what he has in play.
And he's trying to pull himself out of this Price of Progress death, which he has.
He has already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Sean pulled him out of it with a Wasteland.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Solitude and the Wasteland sort of pulled him out of the Price of Progress death.
Yeah, he's probably thinking I can't beat this Nissa bouncing though either. So
Sean flooding here.
yeah.
Yeah, Tanner just drawn cards and comfortable winning with a Solitude.
Yeah, I mean, these elementals are some of the most powerful creatures ever printed, and this is why. This one was actually cast the fairway,
Yes.
but still Swords to Plowshares on a lifelinking creature, just pretty darn good. And here's a Ren and 6. Picking up another land, maybe get this Crocus back. Nope, goes for the Wooded Foothills here. Plays the Wooded Foothills.
Yeah, it's at this point, Tanner has do we need the Caracas? I don't think Sean has any impetus to do this. Sean's not going to interact with the graveyard in a meaningful way generally.
Yeah, and this Wooded Foothills can just go get a basic in case there's a Price of Progress situation.
He's already way out of that anyway.
Yeah.
He if he got priced right now, he'd go to 8 and comfortably sit there.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's necessarily a way for Sean to win from here. We do need a Snoop might do it, But until he starts doing something, Tanner is going to continue drawing cards, developing mana, gaining life.
Yeah, I mean, there's a string of plays for Sean for sure. Recruiter, Ringleader, Resolved Ringleader can put him right back in the game.
Yep.
Ringleader into a Muxus on the next turn, something like that is pretty good.
It's a runner situation, right?
Yeah, and he's got a lot of life left, and Solitude is not the fastest clock. It's pulling Tanner's life total up, but it's not killing Sean particularly fast.
No. Interestingly, Ren and 6 also represents sort of like a weird like clock adjuster. Yeah. I've killed people with Ren and 6 before.
Sure.
-1 on that is pretty important. Also, Sean's not resolving any X1s with that Ren and 6 in play.
Yeah. This Nissa gets pretty dangerous with this Ren and 6 too.
Yeah, I think this game is effectively over.
Oh, there's a Teferi.
Yeah, he's just going to take it up. He's going to bounce his own Solitude? What did he take it down on?
I don't know.
It has to have a target, doesn't it? Or is it up to?
Don't know.
My phone is almost dead. I am actively searching for cards. Yeah, it's return up to 1 target.
Gotcha.
So this Caracas...
Here's this, the Squee Dubious Monarch.
It has haste.
It does have haste.
It's a 2/2 with haste that makes a 1/1 when it attacks.
Yeah. Maybe you can get this Teferi off the board.
Sure.
Or whatever, whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, he doesn't...
It's
Sean,
hard to...
read the down tick. Read the down tick on Ren and 6.
I mean, I think he's, sort of backed into a corner where even the Caracas is bad for him now.
Yeah.
So, this Ren and 6 maybe needs to go.
He can recast the Squee out of the graveyard, but that's not where it's going.
Right.
Like, it's going back to your hand, bud. And, like, the ideal play for Tanner is to take a little bit of damage and then wait until Sean's turn to cast it. Oh, he's just going to bounce it now.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's got the Petty Theft, I guess. Yeah, it's one of those things. And Tanner's, I think, happy to use these Planeswalkers as fogs,
Sean's just sort of doing the eyebrow raise there, recasting it. He's like, that's fine. Yeah, Tanner waited until on combat step to cast, but now Tanner gets to uptick Ren and 6, get back Caracas, play Caracas, wait until Sean's turn. When he goes to combat, beginning of combat before attackers are declared, just bounce it.
Yeah.
It's a play pattern as old as time. Beauty and the Beast, you might say. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this is... You could probably tell the disparity in board state here in how things are going for Sean. Sean wants a lot of things on his side. Right now, just the one.
Yeah.
And his opponent has a pretty clean answer for that. I don't know.
He's in a rough spot. And this... here's 4 mana. Is this...
Oh, no. Game's over.
Yep.
Sean's best out to this is a...
I mean, he's got the Price of Progress in his hand,
Oh, does he really?
Yeah, he does. He has for a couple turns.
He can't cast it right now. Like, even if you have
Right,
mana.
yeah, he just has no... I think... Yeah.
I mean, right now, if he cast it, Tanner would go to 9.
Oh, yeah.
Are we just getting in there?
No, well...
I would attack with that boo.
But we did get the Crocus.
Yeah, so. We're going to bounce that. Just get in.
Get in for 7, yeah.
Yeah, gain 3, get in for 7. He may be able to hit you with it once next turn. Maybe remove a couple of your Planeswalkers. The game's over, though.
Yeah. So he goes to 4, which is the size of Boo.
Yeah, the downtick on Minsk next turn.
Yeah.
If you've
this hamster may go for the eyes.
That would be the most fitting way to end the game. Did he almost draw off of Tanner's deck there?
I think maybe he just took a little peek, see.
Just take a look. See what my death is.
He drew the Muxus.
Did he really?
Yeah, he drew the Muxus.
He doesn't have enough mana to cast it.
Poor Wasteland.
No. No, he does. He has enough mana. That's 6 lands.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh man, here we go. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that one's kind of tucked.
Muxus. This is Sean's boss monster.
Yeah.
I am a strong believer in boss monsters in decks.
Oh, Legion War Boss.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Gamble. Sticker Goblin. I don't know what that one is.
So do all these go into play?
Yeah.
Holy
But
crap.
I don't think he drew anything that gives him all haste, did he?
No, I don't think so. I mean, the boo is probably just going to end this. That is a wild card to play. He gets to put a sticker on it. Ladies and gentlemen, a sticker is coming into play.
If he has something that gives him haste, he may win the game right here.
Yes, if he gives him haste and attacks, he can produce the mana to cast Price of Progress, which will take him to 2, and he will win.
Yeah. Okay, what happened with the lands?
I don't know. I don't know what we're doing right now. Did he untap his lands? Did he have something that untapped him?
I don't know. I don't know what these goblins are because I can't tell with all these different arts.
I think he's representing those lands as mana that he has available from the sticker goblin. He is still dead to a down-ticked Minskin Boo.
He is. He has to attack for lethal this turn.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
He can Price of Progress. It'll take him to 2. It'll take Tanner to 9. The Caracas is tapped down. What are we doing with the lands?
7, right? Yeah. I don't know what's going on with these lands.
I don't know why they're untapped. I don't think anything had haste. Oh yeah, they're all tapped. He probably was thinking he had the mana from the Mind Goblin. Yeah, he's just gonna fling this.
So yeah,
He's just gonna fling the boo. Yeah, Sean going, oh, I'm gonna take 4. I am at Check's life total.
Hey, gotta
4.
make him have it. You know, you gotta make him do it. It's a high pressure match. Tanner can make a mistake here.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, they've been playing a lot of Magic today, and we're showing it off. Going to game 3. Tanner has to win 1 more. Sean's got to go runner here.
Yeah, that game ended up being closer than it seemed. You know,
Mux is showing its power.
A Goblin War Chief there. The game's over.
Yes. That's wild. He was so close.
Yeah.
Because he gets to War Chief, give everything haste, produce the mana from Sticker Goblin, Price of Progress him, go to 2, take his opponent to 9, and attack for, what, 18?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild how close that was.
Yeah. Oh. Pretty cool.
Yes, I love that.
Pretty cool that he almost just came out of nowhere there, you know? I'm certain that Sean would like to draw a better mix of lands and spells.
His deck
Yeah.
has sort of been punishing him this match.
Yeah, maybe paying him back for that Jake round.
Yeah. the rounds against Jake and Mitch where he just bullied his opponent into the dirt. All right, I'm going to take a quick break here. See how the players do, and then we're going to resolve some mulligans, and we'll be right back.
Cool.
All right. We're back.
We're back.
Game 3.
Game 3 of the finals.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Sean's going to need to go runner to win this one. He has the ability to do it, but it's going to be tough.
Yeah, he needs the reverse sweep here.
Yeah, Tanner really off to a good start here. Capitalized on Sean's deck, feeding him the wrong cards.
Yeah, notably, Sean is just not had the draws he's wanted. He's mulliganed a lot.
Yeah, he has. Are we keeping this? We have a 1-land hand here, but we have a lot of... Did we not do stickers?
They did do stickers, I believe.
Okay. They need to do stickers again.
I bet Sean keeps his hand. He's got that signed Raging Goblin.
Yeah, baby. He loves
that thing.
Goblin.
Yeah. Oh, they are doing stickers. I thought they did it earlier.
No, he did it. You have to do it every game.
Yeah.
Very funny that this is like the sticker deck to do. Do you have his deck pulled up?
This is an older copy, but
Okay.
I figured I'd pull it up and see if I can identify these cards every now and then.
Yeah, we would like to know the cards that Sean Odeen plays in his deck. Conservatively plays 30-ish goblins, 40 goblins.
Well, but here goes Sean into the mulligan again. So, Tanner also mulliganing this time.
Yeah, better for Sean. Still rough.
Yeah. He definitely needs a critical mass of cards,
Yeah. Tanner's cards are going to be 1-for-1 better than Sean's. Sean just needs that mass of cards to really interact with one another, give each other buffs.
Right.
Tanner's just had really good proactive cards, had really good reactive cards, had basically everything everywhere, and Sean stumbled horribly. Not horribly. That last game ended in a weird way with that Muxus.
Yeah. Tanner was probably breathing a sigh of relief after
Yes.
that Muxus resolved.
Yeah.
Any one of those, that was a better than average Muxus hit, but if any one of those had been giving the other creatures haste, that would have been a nasty game.
Yeah. Sort of reminds me of Dragonstorm, where like you just need one thing that gives your creatures haste. Oh, there's a Urza's Saga. I think this is a keep hand.
Yeah, 3 lands, got some spells. There's
There's
a
a
skull
skull
clamp in there.
Yeah, that card with a squee.
Yeah.
Is nuts. And he's on the play,
He's
so
got
he's
the
gonna
squee,
put one card away, Sean.
the Cobbler of War card, the Ardes Cobbler of War.
What are we putting back? So we've got 3 lands, including an Urza Saga. All right. So we're going to start with an Urza Saga.
Get
Probably
this
just-
skull clamp in play
Yeah,
right
just
away.
launching it. Yeah, totally. Next turn, if nothing else, we can cast a Goblin, put a clamp on it, start going to town.
Yeah.
What is this?
Let's get the 2 legendary goblins there.
Moxen? Are we on Moxen, no land? No, we're on
No.
land. We got a bird.
Yeah.
We haven't actually
that
seen
nice
a lot of
skull in
dorks today.
We have not, no.
This is, I think, the first one we've seen for 1 mana. We saw
we did see
wall.
Luke play a Deathrite Shaman earlier.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Is that really a mana dork though?
Well,
It's a mana guy,
yeah.
a mana friend.
Yeah, he's the best 1 mana planeswalker in the game.
Yeah. Some would say the only 1 mana planeswalker.
Yeah. They're probably right.
So Sean casting a goblin here, presumably.
Here's this Ardes Cobbler of War.
Yeah. Just asking Tanner if it resolves. Tanner's reading the card. This is a jumpstart card.
Yeah.
So 1/1 with haste.
Yep.
Not blocking with the Birds of Paradise. Probably correct.
Yeah. Gives you other goblins +2/+0 when they come in.
That's
Gives itself +2/+0 when it comes in, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it just
So it comes
swung
in as a
it just
3/1.
bolted him.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
This is the more I look at this opening hand, this is pretty fantastic. Sean's going to be able to get a Black Lotus off of this Urza Saga.
Yeah, should he choose to, for sure. He may just go for the Ruby, too.
Yeah, that's
just
true.
to get a persistent piece of mana, but
It's a choice.
yeah.
I like that he has both in the deck. He gets to make the choice. If Moxen ever do go up, I think he has other cool options to do.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's ever off of Black Lotus, but he might. Like, if Ruby goes up, he has to make the choice again. What's
Yeah.
interesting is Price of Progress got pointed originally because we didn't have Triomes, and red decks were free rolling Price of Progress with Black Lotus and Ruby. And I don't think the problem there was Price of Progress. I think it was the Moxen. Like you should be able to have, you should have to choose.
The fast mana is always a thing, you know.
Yeah.
All right, that's a Territorial Kavu.
Yeah, we saw a lot of this yesterday. This won Chris the championship for the OCM.
Yeah.
He has a whole bunch of these guys.
Yeah, he had just a team of them. You know, three of them in play at one time.
Yeah,
and they're all 5/5s.
All
for
5/5s. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a rough. And he was just flying through his deck too.
Yeah, he was rummaging 3 times every turn.
Yeah.
Slamming in for 15 on I think turn 4.
So there's a plateau in play. Presumably this thing can be a 4/4 at will here.
3/3 at most. That's a Prismatic Vista and a Mox. So
is that a Vista?
Yeah.
Okay.
At most this is a 3/3. Right now it's a 2/2. We're floating a mana off of this. It's gonna don't shuffle it into your deck, Sean. That should be there. You go.
Did go for the Mox.
Yeah, that's understandable. So we're gonna be at 3 mana here, no matter what. We're floating one off of that. We're probably gonna go get the Squee. We're probably gonna play the Squee.
It seems likely. He will. I don't know. It depends on what he drew.
Like if he plays the Squee, it has haste. It gets +2/+2.
+2/+0, yeah.
+2/+0. So if he trades,
so does the Goblin that it
Yes.
puts into play. Yeah.
So even if he trades with a Territorial Kavu, the Dubious Monarch can be recast from graveyard.
Yeah.
For 4 mana. And what is it, 5 cards or 4 cards? I've never actually done it. Weirdly. Yeah. So,
you've never cast it from the yard?
Yeah. I think it's
You're more of a Nabob, player. Anyway.
I am a Nabob player. Yeah. I
know.
generally don't cast that card though. I like to pitch. I like to pitch it.
You just
So
throw it in the trash.
We get a mana floating. We're kind of deciding what to do. We've got 2 lands and a Ruby in play. A mana floating.
A Squee and some cards. I don't know what the other cards are, but
A Squee and some cards is a great way to describe the deck.
yeah.
Sean really needs this win though, and I'm sure he's feeling it. Okay, so we could saddle this up with the Skull Clamp. Go to combat, saddle it up now. Go to combat, swing in for 5.
Well, it is only
6.
+2/+0. So
It's a 2/2.
Oh, is it? Is the Dubious Monarch a 2/2?
It is
For some reason, I
indeed.
thought it was a 2/1.
No, it's a 2/2.
Yep, here goes this clamp.
Yeah, and so you go to combat, make a 3/1 goblin that you're going to attack with, because it has haste. Are we?
You think he has to take his crown off to get clamped in the skull?
No. Squee has a weird shaped head.
Oh, okay.
The clamp goes on through the crown.
That makes sense.
So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 damage coming in. He's going to trade with the Kavu.
Yeah, draw some cards.
Yep. Squee's going to die. He's going to draw 2 cards. Kavu should also die. Draw 2 cards. And lands are not what we like to see, but they're no longer on top of the deck.
Yeah, you take what you can get.
His deck is really not being kind to him.
No.
Although that Goblin in play is going to turn into cards next turn if it persists.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing. Goblins never shy away from
Death?
from just murdering the lower members of the clan.
Yeah. Or the upper members. I mean,
Yeah.
Muxus isn't the first Muxus. Okay, so we're going to get a basic off of this Prismatic Vista, and then we're going to cycle this Lorien Revealed into a basic as well. Into an island, sorry.
Yeah, any island.
Can potentially a Triome. That was a hard decision for Tanner, because that Kavu represented a pretty big creature, a 4/4 on this.
Yeah, 4/4, and the ability to loot is always pretty nice.
The problem is that taking all that damage would have just been aggressively bad, and then Squee remains in play.
Yeah, with this initiative deck, the longer this game goes, the more likely Tanner is to win.
Correct.
So, not taking damage when you can not take damage, and trading when you can trade.
If at all possible, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, the quality of his cards are super high. He's just trusting the top of his deck to feed him good stuff.
Yeah.
And, it's rewarded him up until this point. He's got 2 games under the belt. All he needs is one more win. Definitely hungry for it, I think.
Yeah, and he's on 5 mana now,
Yeah.
So these elementals are
and
online.
Exile doesn't give him the card draw from the Skull Clamp. If you exile the creature with the Skull Clamp, that's not a death. You don't get the card draw.
Yep.
Exile continues to be way more relevant every year.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to do it for the One Ring. You've got to do it for Merit Lage. Although we haven't seen a lot of Merit Lage lately. Or Spaghetti Mama.
Yeah, not in K-Liner for sure.
Yeah.
We did see Blake win with it on camera.
That is true.
Recently,
Yeah.
in Legacy.
Cast in 3 mana. It's a Murktide. Okay. How big is this baby?
Goblins and
It's a 4/4.
dragons.
They have a weird history.
They do.
Yeah.
It's
Let's see what Sean draws off of this. So does he draw another land? Is really the question. No. It's a Goblin King.
It might be a matron.
Is it a matron? It's hard to tell.
It is really hard to tell.
But it will get +2/+0 and have Mountain Walk if it's the king. If it's a matron, you just get to set up your draws for forever.
Yeah, if it's a matron, it's probably going for a recruiter, maybe. I don't...
Yeah.
It kind of depends on what Sean thinks is going on here.
What is this? Is that a matron or is it a king?
That, I believe, is a Moria Marauder.
Oh, that's a
double
Lord of the Rings.
strike.
Yeah, that card's great.
So +2/+0 double strike, or onto the double strike creature makes this
and there's a rune belt. No. That's the Outland. Oh, what is that?
That is a
Pull up the deck
goblin.
list.
Yeah.
Do the deck list. It's a 2-mana creature. Oh, are we getting a Fury here? He's Eladomri's calling for a Fury, presumably.
It's that Sardian Avenger is what that
Sardian
is.
Avenger.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's weird it didn't slam in. They all got +2/+0. Yeah, we're getting the Fury.
He may be on the declare tax step
Oh,
right now.
So-
Not sure, but
can't flash in a Fury.
no.
I'm presuming that he hasn't attacked. If I'm Tanner, I'm waiting till end of turn to do this.
Yeah. Sean, if he did draw the king, he may be trying to set up for an alpha strike next turn. But
Yeah, he does have a king in hand. This is just going to wipe out so much of his board.
yeah, not what he wanted to see for sure.
No. He's going to just hard cast this, kill 4 creatures, just 4 for 1 him.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, and part of the reason why this Omniscient deck is so good, and why it's sort of a bold play to play the goblins into these metas.
I mean, it served him well up until this point. That's the thing.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no shade there at all.
It's just, at this point, Tanner knows his deck very well. He gets the issue again with Eladomri's Call, and come for me if you want, but 1-pointing this card feels fine to me. There are so many good creatures, and the quality of creatures are going up and up and up.
Yeah.
Having an instant speed ability to toolbox any creature in your deck, that'll...
Yeah, that's really rough there.
This is absolutely brutal. That just... Yeah, and now he's going to take 4. Sean about to spill water all over the entire game. He really needs a good hit here.
Yeah.
He's just drawn a ton of lands. What is that?
So the Ardas does not give the creatures haste, so that's why he didn't
sure.
attack there. He just set up for an alpha strike, but
I don't hate it.
is that a chieftain, maybe?
I think it's a chieftain and a king.
Yeah.
The question is, do you play 1, equip with Skull Clamp? If they kill it, you get the card draw. If not...
Yeah. I think you play one and equip it, the least valuable of the two, because you need to block this Fury probably. No, maybe not. It's just 10.
It's 16.
10.
Yeah, so 16.
It's 10 damage there.
That's 12. Oh, no, it's 10. You're right. The Birds of Paradise, not a 2/2. It's a 1. It's a 0/1.
It is an 0/1.
Yeah.
For the moment, anyway. You never know. You
No.
know, you get these initiative decks. Maybe it gets forged up.
I mean, maybe we berserk it. Oh, is he just? Yeah, he's slamming in
Yeah.
for 10, taking him to 6. Yeah, if I'm Sean, I don't block, right?
I mean, I don't think you win with Chieftain or King plus one other card.
That's true.
So.
I'm true. The game's over.
I mean, the King has some value in that it gives Mountain Walk.
Yeah.
All the goblins. But.
He needs. I mean, a Muxus here would be really good. That's a price of progress.
Yeah.
Is that it?
No, there's 4 lands there.
3.
It is it if he plays the King to give it Mountain Walk.
Yes, I think he can kill him. If he attacks with the King, it'll hit him for 3.
Attacks with the Chieftain,
4.
yeah.
Yeah, it'll hit him for 4.
Yeah, so if there's no interaction here,
game.
he could kill him.
He can kill him right now.
Yeah.
Has Mountain Walk. Oh, does that have haste?
I think the Chieftain gives it haste.
Okay.
Other goblins.
And there's Price. Does he have it?
Sean getting sneaky here with these games.
That's game. Going to game 4? Oh, no, not shit. No shake, no shake.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Holy
so
cow.
It turned out to be the right play not to block with that Chieftain. And that's why Sean is good at goblins and I'm not.
I did not see that win coming.
Yeah.
That's wild. Holy cow. Okay. We're on to game 4.
Yeah, Sean pausing to explain. I was trying to get an Alpha Strike with this Chieftain, but then you killed all my stuff with your Fury.
And I still killed you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The unmitigated brutality of goblins. Winning after a Fury wipes your board.
Yeah. Great from Sean.
Yeah,
You know?
honestly, okay. Let's talk for a second about price of progress. Was 1 point for a long time, now 0. I adore that it is 0 point in exactly this matchup to punish Tanner's style of deck.
And that's why it was moved to 0.
Correct.
I think,
he should lose games like this.
Yeah. Just to say, hey, you're greedy. I don't know that it's a philosophy that I always agree with. Just because I think it's kind of a weird high ground to say, hey, you're being greedy and I'm going to punish you for it. However, it served its purpose right here.
I don't know that we're punishing people for it per se. We're capitalizing on let's call it a weakness in deck. There is a weakness in not having a lot of basics, in play, and that weakness can be capitalized on in the same way that it can offer advantages.
Yeah. In that last particular game, Tanner was punished as much for having a mountain in his deck as having non-basic lands.
Exactly.
People always just kind of get, I shouldn't say that. You hear a lot like, well, we're keeping these other decks in line. Like, yeah, that's nobody else's job, Like,
yeah.
It's but I don't hate Pop being at 0. I definitely don't.
It doesn't feel like because in some matchups it just doesn't do anything. And we saw a game where it didn't do anything. It was in Sean's
it just wasn't enough.
Yeah.
And Tanner didn't even really play around it in that game.
No, the
it just wasn't
Solitude
enough.
just does the
Yeah.
thing. His balancing act was getting out from underneath lethal, no matter where it came from.
Right.
And that could have come from a barrage of Muxus. It could have come from, Black Lotus into a Blood Moon. And speaking of Blood Moon,
Yeah, there's a Blood Moon there.
that's a keepable hand, I think.
That's a Meltdown.
Yep.
I don't know that the Meltdown is what you want here, but
We've got castable cards.
yeah, I don't know that we have anything for the first 3 turns. That's the problem.
Yeah, but if okay, we're keeping.
We're keeping anyway. Yeah. Hey, there's the Meltdown target.
Is that a no lander? No, Tanner's got a land there.
I was gonna say, if there's no land there, this is the most paid off Meltdown ever.
That's very weird. Yeah, so this is a great. He actually shows now a Meltdown target. We're saying that it's not a great melt. We don't have anything to do, but then Meltdown immediately becomes relevant.
Oh, this is a 1-drop of some sort here that Sean has in his hand. I just don't know what it is.
And I kind of would have fired off that Meltdown, I think.
Well, he's trying to decide whether he wants to get on the board here or not.
I think I'd fire this off.
Yeah.
It's never going to be better. Like, yeah, Meltdown X0. Tanner reading the card. This is an uncommon from Urza's Saga. It's destroy each artifact with mana value X or less. You cast it X is 0.
Yeah.
Tanner's deck really does get off the ground at 3 mana, so he's still going to be able to do that next turn, presumably. But if he doesn't have a second land drop, or if he needs 4 mana, he's counting on it, this is a much different game. I really like that from Sean.
Yeah, I don't hate it. Don't hate it. Just a decision on whether to get on board or...
And again, Sean has played a lot of this deck. He knows what he's doing.
He does,
Even with Meltdown being a newish card in the deck, I don't know that it was getting more relevant.
Well, I think maybe his 1/1 just doesn't match up well against his Halfling anyway.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a point maybe where you just play the card and it just sits there and stares at his Halfling. The Halfling is delighted to see it.
Yeah, I'm delighted that the Halfling is in play, doing its thing. I noticed that he did get a Valk here. Oh, he's considering.
Going into the opt.
Or opting.
Yeah. Opting to put that on the bottom.
Consider goes into the graveyard.
Yeah.
Sculpting his hand, doing the thing the blue decks do. I don't know how many... oh, that's a mana confluence. He's going to lose a life. What is he casting here? White Plume? Is probably White Plume.
No.
True name.
Yeah.
Who's he going to name? Sean Odeen.
Sean Odeen.
Sean Odeen.
Yeah.
You have to say the name correctly. As with any kind of fairy law, you have to say the name right.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that.
You basically own somebody if you have their true name. The true name Nemesis.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It's a Merfolk rogue. I always thought it was a little weird that it's a rogue.
I mean, he makes his own rules, baby.
It's another one of these cards that was printed for multiplayer games.
Yep.
And is really good when there's only one other player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you've ever played against True Name, it's a 3/1 Merfolk rogue. When it comes into play, choose an opponent, and it gains protection from that opponent. And that means it can't be targeted. All damage is prevented from it. Can't be blocked by it. Can't be enchanted by it. So here we go. We got a 1-drop goblin.
Yeah, that's it's one of the Bushwhacker things, I think. Yeah. One of the Bushwhacker variants.
Yeah, from the Secret Lair. And Sean just not opting to use that second mana. I do like I still like the Meltdown turn 1. This Merfolk though is really rough. Because the thing that Merfolk is that the True Name does better than anything else is block.
Yeah.
It can block any sized creature. It'll eat anything with 3 toughness, and it never dies.
And it's really good in these initiative decks. It always takes the initiative back if you need it to.
Mm-hmm.
It always stops your opponent from attacking for initiative if you need it to. It does the things that you want it to do. I don't think the Meltdown was getting better either. No. You know what I mean? So,
if Moxen went to 4 points tomorrow, this deck would still be on True Name. I'm convinced. Like you'd have to resort some things with fast mana. I don't think True Name goes away.
Depends on if they also pointed White Plume. I think they would trade the White Plume. I think they would trade the True Name for the White Plume.
Really?
Yeah.
If Moxen went to 4?
Yeah.
Well,
if Moxen went to 4 and White Plume went to 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
If Moxen went to 4, White Plume went to 1, they'd probably do Mox True Name White Plume.
Maybe.
Or I mean, doing Soul Ring. And then like doing a wider spread.
Yeah,
smaller
the deck is so pip heavy. I don't know. They may just go to like White Plume Treasure Cruise too. Yeah, it's hard to say.
You're in a lot of blue. What is this? Matron? I believe this is Matron.
It looks like a Matron. It looks like a mom with a rolling pin.
Yeah, it's from a Secret Lair.
You know.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
So Sean is kind of going for the combo line here.
Potentially,
Yeah, Matron lets you set up a combo line. Sort of a recruiter type effect.
Yeah. I think he's going for this Bombardier, maybe. Is that what he put on top?
I don't know.
Or is he still looking?
I think he's still looking.
That card on the bottom there of the screen is that Bombardier, the new one from the Commander set in Ixalan.
What does it do?
It is a 2/2 haste, and it has Boast. The Boast is sacrifice a creature or artifact. It deals that creature or artifact's converted mana cost +2 to any target.
Yeah, I don't... Oof. Sacrificing your permanent-based damage for over-the-top damage is good.
Yeah.
It's just interesting. Like, he just wants a lot of tokens if he's going to do that.
I mean, yeah, maybe. If you... Okay, Sean putting his hand on the table face up.
Whoops. Whoops.
Does not get the Bombardier. No. The Bombardier is very good with the Ember Cleave and stuff. Chunk something for 8, you know?
Yeah.
And it's Boast, so it's after combat.
Yep. So you get the damage in.
Yeah.
You still get to do the thing. Honestly, Sean's not in the worst place. Like, still at 17. Got a good board. Got good cards in hand. Has developed his mana pretty well. He's not going aggro. I think he just has a plan in mind of what he wants to do and how he's going to get out of it.
Yeah, and again, we're at the mercy of, we have no idea what is ever in Tanner's hand.
Right. We have the advantage of seeing Sean's hand.
Yeah.
Are we just cycling for Lorien? Yeah, Lorien revealed.
Yeah, he's really been struggling for the land drops this game.
Tanner has?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Lorien sort of replaces a land in your deck. It's wild.
Does, yeah.
And we've said that sort of before in a lot of these like land cyclers. Lorien's the real deal.
It is, yeah. Of the land cyclers, Lorien is definitely the all-star, followed pretty closely by Troll.
Yeah. And Oliphant.
Yeah, the Troll is just so good as an reanimate target.
Oh yeah. You notice he's getting a basic.
Yeah.
He's respecting the price of progress at this point.
Yeah, he found out about it last turn.
Yeah,
last game.
He messed around, found out.
Yeah.
Discovered that pain hurts.
Yeah. Discovered that 11 is not a safe life total.
No. You'll deal 11 damage with a price of progress real quick. So he's just... Oh, it's Tarfire. He's just chunking in... That's Tarfire.
Yeah, it is, yep.
Yeah. He's just chunking in with this true name. The funny thing, playing against a control deck with an aggro deck is you're trying to fight really low mana efficient spells with counter magic that are like trying to be as efficient as possible. But when you're spending 2 mana to counter a 1 mana spell, it sucks. It sucks a lot.
Yeah, it feels kind of bad.
Yeah. And generally, you're down a card, you're down mana, you've traded a resource for a worse resource. You don't want to have to chump block a token with, a Murktide.
Yeah, anytime you're just dealing with one goblin, it feels kind of bad. You want to kill them in mass,
Who's this?
I believe this is the recruiter, right?
Okay, so we matroned to get the recruiter. We're recruitering now, and the recruiter should set up the win. Because the recruiter gets to set up... Sean basically gets to search for any number of goblins, reveal them, and then put them on top of your deck in any order.
Yeah. Now, it's not...
So we're going to counter this more than likely. Or are we just considering? What is this?
That is a creature.
Oh, is it a subtlety?
I believe.
Does he have the mana to subtlety? Oh, it's a Malcolm.
No.
Is that not Malcolm? What is this?
I don't know what that is.
Is this Tishana's Tidebinder? That's Tishana's Tidebinder. It's going to lose all abilities. Gotcha. So you're basically
he's stifling it and making it lose the abilities. Yeah.
That was a really clutch play for Tanner.
The funny thing about the Tidebinder is that this is the first time I've actually seen the normal art.
Oh, really?
Because I always see the the one that has all the crazy colors on it. It's kind of like an Aztec theme.
Yep. Yeah. That's the one Blake has in his deck. Yeah, Tishana's Tidebinder, sort of a banger from this deck, like Nimble Obstructionist style. The only difference is Nimble Obstructionist, when you fire it off, when you cycle it to stifle somebody, You don't get the body. You have to put it in the graveyard. This, you get the body.
Yeah. Another nice thing about this card is, Tanner is playing Flame of Manure, and this is a wizard.
It is a wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oftentimes, Flame of Manure just enough. Like, it's enough value on its front side. On the back side, if you get 2.
Yeah, if you get to double
options,
up on it, it's nutty.
If you can shatter and deal 5, if you can
Draw
2, deal 5, draw 2, shatter, all the modes in it are very good. Should have been the Prismari command. Prismari command doesn't counter spells. It is not Izzet Charm, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Nothing can be.
What are you gonna do?
Not everything can be Fire Ice. Not everything can be as Izzet Charm.
Flame of Manure, strong on its own.
Yeah.
Prismari command, good in those creativity decks. Sometimes you need that treasure,
Yeah. And just putting this. Are we slamming in with this 3/1?
I think when you play Canadian Highlander, you will win some games if you just attack for 3.
We're just attacking for 6.
Yeah.
It's Tidebinder 6 or 3. These are.
It's a 3/2. Yeah.
Yeah. Putting them
almost looking like we're playing fish here,
Yeah. I mean, merfolk are the new goblins.
Yeah.
Zombies are the new merfolk. Or not zombies, vampires are the new merfolk. Of all of, like, the typal decks, we've got goblins sort of the top of the heap.
Yeah.
Elves have fallen down quite a bit. Oh, there's a ruby. So, got some points. Just being a land drop at this point. Sort of the worst mode of Ruby is just being a land drop. The late game draw.
Yeah, for sure.
That was a squee. Okay, so now we have a board. Are we threatening here? I don't know.
That looks like a
Brazen Borrower.
Brazen Borrower and maybe the Flame of Manure.
Is that Flame of Manure in hand?
I believe.
That would be nuts.
I can't tell. He moves it. I don't know. It looked like the moon in the middle, but...
Yeah, I think it is a flame. It's either flame or force of negation.
Yeah.
I think it is a Flame of Manure.
They
Wow,
look so similar.
are you psychic? You
know-
really called it here if he has it. The Tidebinder into Flame of Manure. Just take out one of the goblins. Or, like, I mean, even if you shatter the ruby, draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
I think you probably take out one of the creatures and draw 2, right?
Yeah, probably.
I think it's a safe bet.
You want to get off of the critical mass as much as you can.
That's a clean 2 for 1.
Yeah. The thing is, most of these creatures just aren't dangerous. They're 1/1s,
Yep. This so 2 mana. We're petty thefting. Just bouncing that back to hand. Probably the safest.
Yeah,
to play it.
that makes me think maybe that is a pack or a force of negation instead of the Flame of Manure.
Yeah.
They both have that bubble right in the middle of the card.
They do.
It's really hard to tell the difference.
What do we cast in here? 1 mana.
Is that a Goblin Shredder?
No, it's a instant sorcery.
Oh, it's a grenade.
It's a grenade. Oh, he's sacrificing
Yeah.
a goblin to deal 5 damage to something.
Yeah.
Interestingly, if that was a Flame of Manure, that counterplay of like that's on the stack, I'm going to deny you two options. Well, how does that work? If it's on the stack and you're choosing modes,
If you cast the Flame of Manure at the time when you announce the spell and there's a wizard in play, you get both modes.
oh, so he can't even respond to it.
Yeah.
Probably great that that's really smart that he went for it there.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to relieve some pressure.
Yeah.
More
I know
than
that
anything,
feeling.
But I don't know.
He's at 5 now. This is a rough
Yeah.
spot. Oh my gosh, this could be it, man. We're coming down to it.
We are. I don't know what answers Sean may have. I don't know if he has a way to race as far as gating any life. I don't. He does have the Saga in play, which makes me think he probably has a Shadow Spear.
He was really going for that recruiter. That recruiter was going to win him the game off the combo line.
Yeah.
That was everything that he wanted it to be, and it just got stifled into the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, and to Tanner's credit, he didn't have a counterspell to deal with that. He found the way to not die,
So the question is, does Tanner even care about these attackers swinging in now? This is 2, 3, 4, 5 taking him to 9. This Matron and Recruiter are both 1/1s, yes?
Yeah.
So this is...
I think he cares just from the... He's had some scares this match, you know.
Oh, that's true.
He had that Price of Progress. He had that Muxus come out of nowhere that almost tore his face off.
He's going to tap. He's just going to cast this. And this is lethal.
Yeah.
Tanner's got two unblockable cards. Yeah.
Yeah. Using his mana really well, you know.
Yeah.
This bird is no longer of value.
Yeah, it stopped being super valuable when he made his 4th land drop. What is that here?
This is Goblin Bombardment. So this will deal with the Brazen Borrower.
He's going to sacrifice it. Yeah, so this buys him a turn. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sean
this
really
represents
means something.
potentially a lot of damage. It's +3 damage right now.
Yeah, so
plus
11,
4
10,
if
9,
the
8, 7,
Nabab
6,
or the-
5, 4, 3, 2. And there's Flame of Anor. Oh my gosh. Oh no, it's fire. It's Lightning Bolt.
Yeah.
That's the Hadouken Lightning Bolt.
Oh, okay.
That is it.
That whole time. All right, and there the
Tanner's
sword
been
changes
handed the
hands.
sword.
Yeah.
What a match! Holy cow!
Yeah, congratulations to Tanner. Played the
so
season well.
great.
Didn't he always played the deck I think that he thought was best.
Yes.
You know, he didn't stick to one thing.
Yeah.
And had a great choice for this
Extremely
tournament.
exciting.
Played really well. We saw him on camera at least twice.
Yeah.
Twice in the first round and the last round. So
He had no free wins.
Yeah.
The guy ground out every single win that he got.
A winner interview?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, we're going to get Tanner in the booth here in just a second. It's wild that this is it. Like, we had Sean Odeen in the finals. What a player.
Yeah, what a guy, man. Just out there battling with his little red men.
Yeah. It's wild to see that deck facing off a 4-color deck that just had banger after banger after banger. And Sean had the win in hand in a couple different places. And Tanner just sort of had the right interaction for it, really got through it.
Even some of the games that Tanner won there,
Yeah.
Sean made very, very close.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break.
Yep,
Don't
absolutely.
forget to follow us on Twitch here. Head over to the YouTube, subscribe. We love you all. I'll be right back. Have a little interview with Tanner. All right.
There we go.
We're back. I decided to bring the camera out here. We got Tanner, our 2023 Lawnlander champion. How do you feel?
Tired. It was a long day. A lot of really good games, really good matches.
Three matches.
Yeah.
But the best of 5, how does that feel?
I like it for this format, for like
The championship?
yeah. But I think in like a regular format, it would just take too long.
Yeah, I don't foresee this being like the normal quarterly qualifier thing, but to get the most out of the games, because it's only 3 rounds, you get to kind of play as much Magic as you normally would
Yeah.
against fewer opponents.
Yeah.
I saw you in a bunch of scenarios there where Sean almost had you straight dead.
Yeah.
We had a Muxus hit that looked like death.
Yeah. One haste enabler and I was done.
Correct. We also got to see Price of Progress murk you out of, 11 life?
Yep.
I think you were at like 14. He slammed in with 2 creatures with Mountain Walk, and
Yep.
then he got to Price of Progress you.
Yep.
That card being 0 points now, definitely a thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a risk of being like a 4-color mana base.
Yeah.
Like having, especially all of your pip density, like your pip dense cards, you needing all of the different colors. Price of Progress is just always there. Like it's always a risk.
Just considered a hazard.
Yes.
I noticed the game after you got priced,
Yep.
you're like, maybe I fetch for a basic here.
Yep.
Maybe I Lorien revealed for a basic island.
Yeah.
Just play it a little bit more conservatively. You also have the ability to just regain some of that life naturally.
Yeah.
You have Solitude that can just gain you the life
Yeah,
over the
like
course of the game.
game 1 Solitude was the reason that I won that game.
Oh yeah, 100%. And True Name, just being able to be this avenue of inevitability where you're pushing through damage while also maintaining a board state.
Yeah.
We never actually saw the initiative. Did we see the initiative actually at all there? I think maybe
Not
one
in this,
game.
not in this matchup.
No.
I don't think it's very good in this
No.
matchup, especially just because he's so good at taking the initiative back.
Yeah, I think what's interesting about your deck name, Omniscitive, you only have 4 initiative creatures, right?
Yeah.
And then you have an Omnath,
Yep.
which represents 5 cards out of your deck, which is effectively a 4-color control deck.
My list is more mid-range.
Oh,
I only
okay, yeah.
because I only play, I think either 3 or 4 total counter spells. The rest is just removal and just card advantage.
Yeah, we just saw the right counter spells in the right place.
Yep.
And a lot of the abilities that are just tied to creatures, being able to come in, act reactively. Tishana's Tidebinder, kill, like doing work there.
Yeah.
Solitude, Fury, all of these cards that just have abilities tied to them that are basically spells with power and toughness.
Yeah.
So, looking forward to next year. Hoping you come back and play with us.
Oh, absolutely.
Just want to thank everybody for showing up, coming and hanging out with us today. It's been a wild year. I really appreciate everybody coming and playing today. All our competitors, to Tanner, our winner, Sean Odeen, our runner-up. This has been amazing. You get your sword now. Take this home. You have to bring it with you. If you play, it's a requirement.
Okay.
Thanks everybody for coming and hanging out. Again, if you haven't followed the channel on Twitch, go to YouTube, subscribe. We'll have these posted in the next couple days.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks everybody. We'll see you later.